morning, dear students. Today we are going to see another chapter, that is fertilization. Fertilization, it involves so many events. In the case of mammalian, fertilization is very difficult to study. Why? What are the reasons? Because it is taking place inside the oviduct of female. It is happening in an internal environment. That is one reason. And also, during the time of ejaculation, a heterogeneous population of sperm is releasing to the vagina. Heterogeneous population means that released sperms are all at different stages of maturation. Okay, and a number will be around 280 into 10 raised to 6. That much sperms are releasing at the time of ejaculation. And out of that huge number, only 1 out of 10,000 can reach the vicinity of egg to get it fertilized. So here we are going to see each and every steps and process in fertilization one by one. First, we are going to see the translocation and capacitation. That means getting the two gametes together in the oviduct. Okay. For mating egg with sperm at ampulla, it requires so many biochemical interactions and physical propulsions. And ampulla, which is that region? Is it familiar to you? Is not to you? That's what I am going to show you. Ampulla means, as you look to this picture, you can see towards one region of the fallopian tube next to the femoral portion, next to the infundibular portion, there is another region. Its name is ampulla, and at this region, the egg meets the sperm, and the fertilization is taking place at ampulla. Okay. So, we should keep that term in our mind. Next term that we need to understand is about cumulus cells, that I am going to explain to you now. Cumulus means, we know that ovum is developing in the ovary inside ovarian follicles. I am going to draw an ovarian follicle. It has so many different types of cell layers. But I am going to point you about one thing. First, I am going to draw mature ovum inside this ovarian follicle. And a mature ovum is encircled by a peculiar type of cell layer. It is wrapped. It is encircled by a special layer of cell. That cells are called cumulus cells. What is its significance? That we need to understand. Only a egg or mature ovum with that intact layer of cumulus cell can be picked up by the fimbriae to the oviduct. If an ovum loses its cumulus layer, it cannot be picked up by the fimbriae. So, that much important is the case of cumulus cells. That's about. Then I will show you an image of that cumulus cell. This is a follicle, ovarian follicle, and this ovarian follicle we can see ovum. It is encircled by a layer of cell. The cells are called cumulus cell. And altogether with this cumulus cell only, a mature ovum can be picked by the fimbriae. It picked up that mature ovum along with the cumulus cell. And then what forces propel a picked up ovum towards the ampulla? Two forces are there. I will show you which are the forces. They are uh, ciliary movement and muscular contraction. Okay, ciliary movement of where? Ciliary movement of the epithelial cells of fimbriae. Fimbriae. Okay, that propel that ovum along with cumulus to the ampulla, as well as the muscular contraction of fimbriae epithelium. It helps to propel that mature ovum along with the tubular cells to the ampulla. So, these are the two forces that helps to propel the mature ovum to the ampulla. Next, we need to understand which are the processes that translocates sperm that is ejaculated to the vagina to the oviduct. The main factor is the muscular activity of the uterus. We all think that the motility of the sperm, because we have read that in most cases we came to know that motility of the sperm, lack of motility of the sperm is the main factor that leads to infertility. But actually that is not the matter. The main main factor that helping the sperm to meet the egg is the muscular activity of uterus, and minor factor only be the motility of sperm. Recently, so many studies are carrying out to understand the process that led to the translocation of sperm. And here are some conclusions of such type of studies. Um, First conclusion is that the uterine muscle contraction are critical in translocating the sperm. Next, the region of the oviduct, this is oviduct before the ampulla, it slows down the speed of the sperm. This is another finding. And one more thing is that on reaching the vicinity of oocyte, the sperm is becoming hyperactive. Sperm becomes hyperactive. And there exists temperature gradients. Temperature gradient means a different range of temperature exists as the sperm moves through the oviduct. I'll show you. So uterus, and this is oviduct. As the sperm moves through the oviduct, there is a gradient of temperature. A range of temperature exists in this oviduct. Yeah, that range of temperature acts as directional cue for the sperm to reach the egg. And also some chemical cues also the sperm is getting out of the oocyte or the cumulus. And on the way to that ambulatory region, sperm is getting mature. Next is capacitation. What is capacitation? Capacitation means it's a set of physiological changes that is happening to the sperm to make it competent to fertilize the egg. That is capacitation. What all changes is happening or required for a sperm to make it able to fertilize the egg? That all changes are called capacitation. And that set of changes required for each type of sperm from one species is different to that of sperm of other species. That requirement is different. Requirement for capacitation is different from species to species. And also it is a transient phenomena. And then what is the optimum time for conceiving? Optimum time for attaining pregnancy? It is to have a sexual intercourse during 6-day period ending on the day of ovulation. I will explain. Suppose This is the ovulation day, and 6 day prior to this day, 6 day prior to this ovulation day, it is the apt time to have sexual intercourse if you wish to attain pregnancy. What is the reason for considering the six day? The reason is that whenever a sperm is released to the female reproductive tract, it can survive in the reproductive tract for 5 days. It is the survival period of a sperm inside the female reproductive tract. After the fifth day, that sperm get destroyed. So it cannot survive after the fifth day. So that is the reason why we choose 6 day prior to the day of ovulation. This is by that way we are giving maximum time period for a sperm to reach a mature ovum. Okay. So some more points I am going to explain to you. Means some other factors also there that determines the success of getting pregnant. What are those factors? Factors means this is the vagina, and the sperms as a result of ejaculation, those sperms that is released to the vagina, it need to overcome so many hurdles to reach the oviduct. Oh, my uterus shape is not perfect. No problem. These are the oviduct. So the sperm that is released in the vagina need to overcome so many hurdles to reach the oviduct. And first hurdle is the thick cervical mucus. Thick cervical mucus is the first hurdle that it need to manage. Why the cervical mucus is this much thick, and this mucus is thick only on those days other than the days of ovulation. During the day of ovulation, this mucus is very watery to let more sperms to enter. Other days it is very thick. This is a strategy employed by the female reproductive tract to screen or to select the best healthy sperm. That is the first hurdle. And those sperm that manage to overcome that hurdle enters the cervix and reaches the uterus. And on reaching the uterus, again there is a luck factor. Luck factor means we know that over two ovaries are present on right side and left side. Okay. And nobody know that in that particular month in which ovary a mature egg is formed. And those sperms that manage to reach here, uh, only a few move to the right side of the oviduct, and maybe a few move to the left side of the oviduct. Suppose in this particular month, a mature ovum is formed in the right side of the ovary and it is present here, suppose. And those sperm manage to move to the right oviduct only can find this mature egg and can fertilize that egg and can result in a pregnancy. And one more factor is there. A factor means those sperm that manage to reach here whenever there is a mature egg, that sperm also be in its capacitation phase, means in its able phase. Then only it can fertilize that egg. Otherwise, it become unable to fertilize. These are the other factors that determine the success of a pregnancy. Next, we are going to see the detailed process of capacitation. During the capacitation process, 5 sets of molecular changes are happening. Here I am showing the structure of a sperm. Detailed aspects of sperm we will learn in another video. So let's go and see what are those sets of molecular changes. As the sperm enters the female reproductory tract, some albumin proteins in the female reproductory tract results in the removal of cholesterol from the sperm plasma membrane. This is sperm's plasma membrane. This one. This is sperm's plasma membrane. From that sperm plasma membrane, cholesterol is removed because of the certain albumin proteins present in the female reproductive tract. And as this cholesterol is removed, what will happen? Uh, some receptor proteins that actually means previously it is scattered in the sperm plasma membrane, and that scattered receptor protein, they get aggregated to one end means the anterior end of the sperm. That is happening first. This is the first molecular change happening as part of capacitation. Okay, next, second one we are going to see that also inside the female reproductive tract as continuation of that process itself. Second process is that so many other proteins and some other carbohydrates that also removed from the plasma membrane, sperm cell membrane. From the sperm cell membrane, some other proteins and carbohydrates are also removed. And this removal actually unmask the receptor proteins that present in the sperm cell membrane that are required to interact with the zona pellucida of egg. Clear? So, second process is that some other proteins and carbohydrates are also removed from the sperm cell membrane. That results the unmasking of the receptor proteins that are required to interact with the zona pellucida of ovum or egg. That is the second. Okay. And what is the third process? What is the third process? I'll show you third one. What? Third process is that the sperm cell membrane becomes more and more negative. It becomes negative. Actually, outside usually need to be positive, but the sperm cell membrane, sperm cell membranes charge become more negative. Why it become more negative? Because of the expulsion of potassium ions from the sperm. And this uh, peak in negativity results in the opening of calcium ion channels in the sperm membrane and results in the entry of calcium ions to the sperm. And these calcium ions along with the bicarbonate ions, it results in the activation and formation of CAMP. And what is the significance of the presence of the CAMP? This CAMP helps in the fusion of this acrosome. This is the acrosome. Acrosome's membrane with the sperm cell membrane. And I don't know whether you know it or no, not that what is acrosome. Acrosome means it is a lysosome-like organelle, a cap-like organelle that is present towards the anterior end of this sperm, and it is full of enzymes. And what is its role? That it helps the sperm, that enzymes will help the sperm to fuse with the egg. That is the role of this acrosome. And now what is the meaning of that word acrosome? Acrosome. Acro means extreme end and some means body. The extreme end of body. So as it is present in the extreme end of the sperm, it is named as acrosome. Okay, this is the third change that happened as part of capacitation. Then what is the fourth one? Fourth one also is happening inside the female reproductory tract. So I am again drawing that female reproductory tract. Fourth one is that certain protein chaperones that present inside the sperm get phosphorylated. On phosphorylation, it become activated and it moves to the surface of sperm cell membrane, and it will act as receptors to bind with the zona pellucida. That is the fourth change. Then what is the fifth one? Fifth one, fifth change, fifth molecular change is that some alteration changes will happen in the acrosome membrane and will start to meet with the sperm cell membrane. These are the 5 important molecular changes that will happen during the capacitation process. Okay, then certain other things also we need to understand that I am going to tell you. As a sperm enter the oviduct of female reproductive tract, I will show you one image. We know that the cause of the that sperm that is ejaculated to the vagina, it will move through the vagina, through cervix, it will reach uterus and will move to either of the oviduct. And on reaching the oviduct, before reaching the ampulla portion, there is another narrow region. Its name is isthmus. Okay, its name is isthmus, and I am going to explain about the significance of this region of the oviduct. On reaching the reaching the isthmus, the sperm remain attached to the wall of the oviduct for a certain while, and once it get capacitated, then the sperm is detached from that attachment and will proceed to the ampulla to meet with the egg. Okay, then what is the significance of that attachment? By that way of attachment, can avoid polyspermy. That means once a sperm reach that isthmus portion, it will stay attached to that wall, and once it capacitated, then it is detached and move towards the ampulla. And the next sperm that reach the oviduct can move only after this sperm proceed to the ampulla, because it need to get again, it need to get need to bind and need to get capacitated and to detach and then to proceed. So by that way, polyspermy can prevented to certain extent. Scientists have performed so many experiments in cow by excising this portion, this isthmus portion. Once they excise, so many polyspermy cases are reported in the case of cows. They have performed such experiments in cows. So that is one significance of this isthmus portion. And also, as the sperm get attached with the wall of oviduct at isthmus, the capacitation rate gets slowed down. Capacitation rate occurs only in a slow pace, slow down. And also by that way, indirectly, it can extend the lifespan, extend the lifespan of sperm. What is the significance of these two effects? Effect is that by that way, a sperm get maximum probability to meet with an egg when it is ovulated and reach the ampulla. So that's some other points we need to understand along with the capacitation process. Okay. Next, I am going to tell you after attaining capacitation, what is happening to the sperm? The sperm become hyperactive. It become hyperactive. How it become hyperactive? Means because of the opening of certain sperm-specific calcium ion channel that present in its tail. Because of the opening of those channels, uh, the flagellum that are present in the sperm's tail that are actually beating asynchronously before that. It start to beat synchronously after the opening of the calcium ion channel that present in the sperm's tail. And it become hyperactive and start to move very fast in the viscous fluid that present in the reproductive tract. And also in the sperm's outer surface of the membrane present certain enzyme hyaluronidase enzyme I will write hyaluronidase enzyme that present in the outer side of the cell membrane. In the outer side of the cell membrane, it digests away the path, digest away and create a path in the extracellular matrix of cumulus cell. It digests away this enzyme, hyaluronidase enzyme that present in the outer surface of the sperm cell membrane. It digests away and create a way through the extracellular matrix of cumulus cells. Cumulus cells. We know that where this cumulus cells, it is present as a wrapping around the mature egg. Mature egg. Okay. So in that way, the sperm become hyperactive. And also, they say it is very relevant to mention about a joke here. There's a reason why man ejaculate so many millions or that much huge number of sperm in one time. The reason is that no sperm is reluctant to ask for a direction to anybody to reach the egg. That is the reason. It's only a joke. Actually, the sperm then find its way to that egg by means it understand a thermal gradient because in the isthmus region the temperature be around 2 degrees Celsius and it is somewhat cooler, and as it moves towards the ampulla, the temperature become more and more warmer and depends by detecting that thermal gradient, the sperm find its way towards the egg. That is one cue, thermotaxis. And also as a capacited sperm start to approach the egg, that egg as well as that its cumulus cells start to secrete I will show you the egg as well as its cumulus cumulus cells start to secrete certain chemicals that will attract. It will attract a capacited sperm. Listen, a capacited sperm only will get attracted because of the chemical substance secreted by that ovulated egg as well as the cumulus cells. By that way, that sperm can reach to that egg. That's all about capacitation. What are its molecular events, and after that, how a sperm managed to reach that egg. With this, I'm going to finish today's section. Thank you.
I'm an icon, man. And my girl about a 10. I should fuck her in a Benz.